Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Marco. Welcome to my house on the Upper East Side. I'm so excited to have you, so come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi, I'm Marko Arsic, and I'm a real estate agent in New York City, which is a nightmare, but also the best thing in the world. And welcome to my house on the Upper East Side. So I found this apartment when I was on vacation in Martha's Vineyard. I actually had a contract out on another apartment that was completely different than this. And then I saw this online and it looked rough. I mean, it looked really, really rough. But I decided to come and see it. And I came here and I saw it and I was like, oh gosh, these people live here for about 40 years and have not touched the apartment in 40 years. But there was a beauty in that, so I kind of felt like I can put my personal touch, and I loved it. And yeah, that's how I found this apartment. When I bought the apartment, I first moved in completely in basically as is stayed, which was not the best condition, but I really wanted to feel the space before I do any renovations. And because I'm in the industry, I know that a lot of people renovate the apartments prematurely and do not really feel the vibe of the space before they do renovations. So I really wanted to make sure that I'm knowing where am I gonna put a sofa and where am I gonna put a chair, and I wanted to renovate it after I've lived in it. So I renovated a lot of it last year. I skim coated the walls, the floors are about 150 years old, so refinished the whole floors, added the bookcase, changed the mantle for the fireplace, added a lot of lighting, gutted the moldings. Everything I could do on like the outside of the apartment, I did, and I still need to do the kitchen. And this is really what sold me on this apartment, because this grand living room is literally something that I've never seen before. And this is where I entertain. This is where all of our friends come together and we sit down, we drink and eat and have parties. There used to be railing here, which I took off, and this is probably one of the most commonly sitting areas in the apartment. So every time I have friends over, we all kind of gather here, dining, and then move on to the living room and enjoy it there. I am really into a specific kind of art. I'm not the most artistic person, but this is all collectibles over the years, and I've gotten a lot of these things from Paris and Europe. There's going to be a lot of European influence in this apartment, not just because I'm European, but also I very much appreciate European architecture. And so a lot of these pieces are from Paris, and then a lot of the pieces are vintage frames, and I just love collecting things that have a story, that are lived in, and that kind of moves into all of the other pieces, because a lot of pieces are a mix between new and old. This sofa is from Design Within Reach. Love the color, it's neutral, it's very comfortable, it's great for sitting, it's not too soft, but it's very comfortable. So bows are very much in style now, as I hear on TikTok. So I saw that someone did this on their art piece, and I decided to follow a TikTok trend. So it's holidays, it's Christmas time, so I decorated this art piece with a bow on it. I will say that the one that I really, really like will be this small little piece that has Eiffel Tower, and it's Paris. And if I couldn't choose New York, I would choose Paris to live in. This entire gallery wall is somewhat from Paris, and there is this huge antique, basically street and a village in Paris that everyone goes to, and this is basically where I got a lot of these things from. As you can see, this apartment has a lot of Parisian architecture. So I'm very connected to it in some reason. I love Paris, I love New York. I think there are two very similar cities with much different architecture, but I really, really appreciate Parisian architecture. And my ultimate goal really is to live between New York and Paris and have a little apartment there that I can also decorate and maybe have you guys come and film it. I came to New York when I was 20 years old. 21 actually. I'm from Eastern Europe. I'm from Serbia. I grew up in Serbia, and I came to Martha's Vineyard first as an exchange student, and I absolutely loved it. But I don't know, as a kid growing up, I always had this idea about New York City. I always wanted to come and see it. I didn't know what this city means really, and I just knew that I have to be here. Something was telling me, I don't know if it was movies and TV shows and whatever it was, but I was really fascinated by New York. So when I was a student, I came here, and I just remember walking down the street in New York, and I was like, oh gosh, I feel at home. And I didn't know what that really meant, but I was a kid and I was in New York for the first time, but I really felt good. I felt like here is where I need to be, and I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna figure it out. And I did. And next year I came back, and I've been in New York ever since. I think this apartment is very funky, and it's a very interesting, quirky layout, but I like that because it's not this cookie cutter, same one-dimensional apartment. So this used to be a townhouse that's about 150 years old, and about 70 years ago or 60 years ago, it got divided into 6 co-ops. So every apartment is a triplex or a duplex, 2 or 3 levels. Everything is very open. I actually have only 2 doors in my apartment, one to the bathroom and one to the entry of the apartment. So there's no bedroom doors, there is no bed doors in general in the apartment. And I like that. I think it's very different. The ceiling height is very, very high. So I love that. And depending on where you are in the apartment, it gets kind of higher or lower. So I like that. This little guy was from a museum in Milan. I don't really know exactly which one, but I know that we got it in Milan. 2 side nesting tables. It's interesting. I got a lot of these pieces in upstate New York, but I got this in upstate New York as well. The rug here is also from Nordic Knots. It has a very soft touch to the feet, and I have no shoe policy in my apartment, so it's very important to have something comfortable to walk on. So Nordic Knots always. So this apartment doesn't get a lot of natural light. We're facing north and have these large windows, but we're overlooking the tree in the backyard. So with the floors being a darker color, I wanted to bring a lighter color rug. So I chose this dusty white, off-white color for the carpet. And it kind of brings up the light in the apartment, and it brightens up the space. This is obviously one of my favorite parts in the apartment. I mean, this is one of the main reasons why I bought the apartment, because these are original, they're 150 years old. This used to be a parlor floor to the townhouse, and these windows open up to a little balcony outside. So on a nice summer day, you can go outside and just enjoy the tree and enjoy the little quiet time in New York. So the tree changes colors throughout the season. This is actually one of my favorite times in the apartment because the tree turns red. It stays red for about 2 to 2.5 weeks. It goes from really green to brown to red and pink, and then it's bare. And every single season is very particular and very beautiful. But this is obviously my favorite season of the year. And it just adds a lot of drama to the apartment, and it adds color and character. And obviously with the windows, it just changes the entire dynamic of the apartment. The reason I chose this color palette is because New York is so chaotic that when I come home, I need to feel a little bit zen. I see a lot of colors in my job throughout the day, and people have very interesting taste. So when I come home, I need to be in my own very neutral and kind of calming environment. So I chose neutrals and beige and a little earthy tones to like make me grounded when I'm at home. So this is one of the most asked questions that I have on social media. Where did you get your table from? And this table was designed in 1970s. It was done by Italian designer Lella and Massimo Vignelli. And I got this on first dibs, and I waited probably about 8 months for this piece. It came from Milan, and this is legitimately my pride and joy in this entire apartment. This piece is my favorite piece I ever owned, and I don't think I will ever get rid of it. It just has such beautiful history, and the four elements that hold the glass top and are all different but have the even height. It's mind-boggling to me, and I love that you can decorate it in so many different ways. And I change the decor on the coffee table all the time, like literally every 2 weeks. And I love to put fresh flowers and a candle. And my friends come here, we gather, and it's this large coffee table that we often put a lot of food and drinks, and it's just very homey, and I love, love, love this piece. This sofa is a very popular piece on social media, I can say. It is not a new piece. I think it just became very viral on social media. I bought this in B&B Italia, and it is done by Mario Bellini. And this is a new piece, and it was a custom piece. I wanted this specific size. It's a modular sofa, so you can obviously get one piece too. You can make the whole living room out of this. But I wanted something that's small, that is not really an armchair, but that's also not a sofa, so that you can kind of relax, read a book. It's very comfortable. And I just got this little pillow, which I think is so cute. It's very comfortable. It's very low, but everything in this apartment is pretty low. The coffee table is extremely low, and then I wanted a piece that's also a similar height. But it's a very comfortable piece. I actually napped a lot on this couch, and probably napped more on this little guy than on the actual sofa. But it's just so pretty. It's very calming and relaxing, and next to the windows, this is a perfect place to kind of unwind. So I actually used to be a lot into plants. I love plants, and my previous apartment was legitimately full of plants, and this is the only one that survived because obviously we're facing north, so there is no direct sunlight that comes to this apartment, which is very sad because I brought a lot of plants here and I killed all of them, and this is the only one that survived. And another one that is like holding on its life is this little money tree, which used to be, really large and kind of elaborate, but it died a lot. But it's holding on, but I'm keeping this piece because it's a money tree, or so someone told me, I don't remember. But I believe in that it's a money tree. So those are the only two pieces of live things outside of me in this apartment. We had this custom built. There is a radiator right behind here, so the heat can come out to the apartment. But I really love this piece because there's just a lot of storage. There is never enough storage in New York, and it kind of is seamless with the look of the fireplace and this wall. This was done last year, and I actually just had it painted again. This is the third time I was painting this because I'm just a kind of person who can never decide and never stop, and there's always going to be a project in the apartment, and just chose this dark charcoal, almost black, but very dark gray color for this piece, and wanted to do something a little bit more shiny. The previous color was a little dull and it didn't give the life to the piece, and now I absolutely love it. I actually patinaed these knobs by myself, so if you need a recipe, let me know. I like to collect books. I'm not really a reader, but I do like books, and I do like to look at them, especially if they have photos inside. That's what I gravitate more towards. But I do like vintage books. I do like old books. I do like things that have lived, and so literally almost every single piece here is from a vintage place in Chicago. This lamp is from Soho Home. This is also one of the very first things I bought for the apartment. It's a very awkward height, but for some reason I think it works. A day in a life as a real estate agent in New York City. This is gonna sound like my TikTok video, but it's very different. Every day is completely different, but I start my day at 6:30. I go to the gym every single day or 6 days a week. That's kind of my routine to start the day, and if I don't do that, then I don't feel complete as I started my day completely. I usually go to the office first around 9:30. We have a team and manage a team, so there's a lot of team meetings in the office and then showings and meeting people and dinners and client dinners and showings and seeing a lot of people's homes. So it's very different every single day. I cannot really say what my day-to-day looks like because it literally changes every single day. But that would be kind of like in a grand scheme of things, how my day would look like. I love these chairs. I love the color of these chairs. I love that they give a very good dimension of the space because they're this very beautiful dark green. They're also from Soho Home. They're extremely comfortable, and I'm probably gonna get a few more of those for another project. But absolutely love the chairs. The fireplace is obviously a star of the show. This is definitely, I guess I keep saying that for every single piece I have in the apartment, but it's one of my favorite pieces in the apartment. Originally, this fireplace didn't have any mantles. It had just a tile over it, and I really like the look of Parisian style mantles because the apartment has these Parisian French door windows. So I thought that something like this would be really fitting in the apartment. So this is a custom made piece, and it's done from, again, upstate. I don't know what's going on with upstate, but it's from upstate. Fabricated, and we got it installed last year. Really love it. It's very dramatic. It's very easy to style in so many different ways. So I love that during the holidays you can style it. Just got these two new guys. But I change the decor on the fireplace all the time, and I love to add things as I collect them. It's working fireplace, however, it is so difficult to actually use. I didn't know that fireplaces are very difficult to use in New York, but they are. And I've gotten my apartment flooded with smoke a couple of times and got really scared to use the apartment fireplace after, so candles will do. The mirror is from Anthropology. I actually wanted to get something that is vintage or something that's Parisian, but everything that I've seen was a very long lead time, and I wanted a mirror immediately. So Anthropology was there with a almost vintage piece, so it fits, which is great. Love my Christmas tree. I decorate the tree for Christmas early, usually before Thanksgiving, because I always host friends for Thanksgiving, so I like to be in that same Christmas mood. And every year I buy new things for the Christmas tree, so just bought a few more pieces, but I like that it reflects the decor of the apartment, and it's still yet Christmassy, and there's a lot of things on it. What does Christmas mean to me? Well, interestingly, I am from Eastern Europe, so I'm Orthodox, so Christmas on the 25th is a very new term to me. I actually don't celebrate this Christmas back home. And when I moved to the States, obviously I started celebrating this Christmas, and it's just so serene and such a down, peaceful time. We live in New York, which is extremely not peaceful. So Christmas time is really my favorite part of the year because I'm gathering with a lot of my friends. I don't have really any family here, so I have my chosen family, and we're all here, and it's exciting and it's nice, and we're often all in our pajamas and just entertaining, and enjoying and eating, overeating, having a laugh. As a real estate agent, it informs my design style completely. I mean, I got a lot of inspiration from a lot of apartments that I've seen and sold and had access to, and a lot of these apartments were multi-million dollar homes that I was able to see and sell and done by some of the world-renowned architects and designers. So I'm very lucky in that sense that I have access to that and that I have my own little interior design eye so that I can pick up things from every single apartment. So it definitely shaped my style and it kind of helped me find my own touch in my design style. So this used to be one large townhouse, and in 1970s it got converted into 7 apartments, 6 residential apartments that are all very quirky and very different. They are all multiple floors, so they're all duplex, triplex kind of apartments with no doors. So basically the only door I have is the bathroom door and the door to the entry of the apartment. So upstairs is my bedroom, and it's open to downstairs, so it makes it very easy not to have anyone sleep in my apartment, which is amazing because, you know, I don't want anyone in my space. I want them to come and go so that I can go and sleep. But for you guys, I'll show you my bedroom. Okay, so I actually got these 2 pieces. I have one in the living room and one here in Madrid. I absolutely love Madrid. And I saw this frame through the closed window because it was late on Sunday after going out. And I took a photo and then I emailed the store and I asked them to ship this piece to me, which they did. And just literally 2 days ago found out who the actual original designer or artist for this piece is, and her name is Michaela Lapierre. And it's been almost a year and a half that I was living with these 2 art pieces that I had no idea who did them. And I'm so glad that I found out because they're really funky and really cool. So this railing was here originally. I just painted it black. It used to be this reddish kind of color. I painted it black and you kind of overlook the living room. And I actually really enjoy waking up here and overlooking the living room because it's such a beautiful room to look at when you wake up. There are original pieces to the molding from the townhouse because that used to be a parlor floor to the townhouse. So this thing here is original to the actual parlor floor, but it doesn't continue here because obviously they chopped up apartments. So this is straight now. This little piece I got in a vintage shop. It is a Danish dresser and it's great. I like to mix a few different architectural designs, and so love this piece. This is the only dresser I have in the apartment. When I renovated the apartment, I completely stripped the floors. I really wanted to keep everything that's possible original. So the floors are original to the townhouse. Not these exactly, but the floors in the living room are about 150 years old. And I had a phenomenal guy who stripped them and we refinished them and they're absolutely beautiful. I would really want to continue having them for as long as possible. They're quirky, they scream when you step on them, but I like that. It's life of an apartment. This is my sleeping bedroom area. One advice that I have for anyone who wants to start in real estate is make your bed first thing in the morning because it'll teach you a lot about consistency. So I make my bed every single day, and obviously it opens up to the living room. So this is not just for you guys, not just for Homeworthy. Side tables are from Zara Home. It's a very challenging space, obviously, because it's really narrow. So I only had a little bit of room to put 2 side tables. Because I added moldings on the floor, they kind of ate at a couple of inches, and so These are brand new, and I love that they're exactly the width that I need for this space. This little pillow, well, not little, but this pillow is from Lulu in Georgia. I got the bed throw from RH, and this cashmere throw is from Italic, and it's like this new kind of online company that supplies a lot of the good quality cashmere and bedding that is used to a lot of very expensive hotels, but for a little cheaper price. Bench is from CB2. It's actually a reproduction of a pretty popular piece that I don't remember the designer, but I know it's a pretty popular piece. And the rug is from West Elm. This is the only thing that I have from a previous apartment. Take your time, really. Everyone was telling me the same thing, and then I didn't listen, and that's why this particular apartment went through 4 different variations of a setup, especially the living room. I mean, this is my like 4th couch in this space. And really because I wanted everything now and instant, and I wanted everything that's ready to be shipped within 2 weeks. And you know what they say, good things take time, and a good designed home takes time, and it's about finding pieces that you love and collect throughout years and travels, and that's exactly what this home is to me. I have old things and new, and I have things from my previous apartment and this, and vintage pieces and collectibles and pieces from all over the country. But it definitely takes time, and it's not instant, and I'm not a patient person. So obviously the reason why I had 4 different sofas in the apartment. But I'll give an advice that, you know, if you want, especially if you own your home and you want it to feel like a home, just take your time with the design. As a real estate agent and as someone who's rented and bought apartments in New York City is the worst place to find real estate in the world. It is probably the most exciting and also scariest places to find an apartment, because as New York is, it's a very fast-paced city, so it really reflects in real estate as well. If you have to sleep on it, it's probably going to be gone. And it's so scary because these decisions are some of the biggest life decisions that one can make. And they're scary. You have to decide right away or in a very short period of time if this is going to be your home. And there is a lot of people who want the same apartments. So it's not an easy ride, and it's scary, but with a good real estate agent, it can be very easy. This is my dining room and an entryway. I often and not so often eat at this table. It more so serves for beautiful flower arrangements, like something that I just did with my friend yesterday for this specific feature, and display of books. So sometimes I eat at this place, but usually we eat outside. So this apartment had the same owners for about 50 years, and they haven't really touched the apartment in those 40, 50 years. They did one renovation about 20 something years ago. So this used to be their greeting area, which had a mini table here and then a lot of chairs and a console, and then there were the railings on the side, and it felt very claustrophobic. And the kitchen had this window that you kind of open and close. So I took that out, and I basically wanted to make this one entryway / dining area. So next week for Thanksgiving, I'll be hosting the dinner, and I'll have my friends interact and sit, and we'll eat a good meal. And a lot of the pieces that I got from here, I don't remember where I got them from, but a lot of those are actually one-of-a-kind pieces from vintage shops. So that little console table is also from upstate New York. I got it in a warehouse in upstate. This is also from upstate. All of the carpets in my apartment are Nordic knots, and I'm such a supporter of that company. It has the best quality for a good price. we all know that closet space in New York is like extremely difficult. And so this closet used to be very narrow and it wasn't here. So I actually opened it up and pulled it more in so that I can build this nice closet for all of my coats and shoes. I obviously have a problem, so this is where I keep all of my stuff. This is exactly what I would wear for a showing. Depending on the client and depending on the location and where I'm going to show, I'll either wear a suit or a jacket or turtleneck, a button-down, sweater, pants. I love this season because it allows me to wear a coat. I have a lot of coats and I'm very, very excited to wear them now. So that's my typical outfit. The mirror is from Soho Home. I love the details on it. This was actually one of the very first pieces I got for this apartment. I grew up in the time where it was a war and my parents were moving all the time as a kid. So for me, home is very emotional. It feels very safe. So when I come home, it means that I'm at peace, and I rarely felt at home growing up, which is a little sad, but now I definitely do. And so it means the world to me.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.